Chapter 8, Part 1. The formula to a person succeeding in rehab. Why would a business owner ever give away the things that they do that are successful, that set them apart, that are the things that when people are shopping around, we tell them this is what we do, and people come into the program? That's crazy, right? Maybe. It probably is. But I don't want it to be a success if it can help more people. I realize I don't have all the money in the world to be able to help as many people as possible, and that there's a lot of people that need help right now. So I'm okay with other people taking these things, applying them in their program, and helping people better. That would be fine with me. I didn't get into this industry for the money. Wouldn't mind making some money. That'd be nice. But I am totally okay with people using this. And I don't even know if this is something they are going to get. They would probably say, yeah, that's common sense, dude. We already do that. Maybe you do, but maybe our standards are different, because I get people all the time who've been to many different programs, some much nicer than Elevate from a perspective of, the facilities, the brand new modern marble floors and all these things. And they come to Elevate and they say, oh yeah, this program's way better than that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're doing or if their standards are different, but the formula that I put in the book was 5 steps. And this isn't the method. I go into the method later. This is just the person succeeding. What's going to cause a person to succeed? And I put these 5 things, and I'll tell you them again here. Number 1, the motivation of the individual in treatment. So we all know that if a person doesn't want to do it, it's going to be really hard to get them to come around. We do these things like interventions. We try to convince them. We try to talk to them. But if they are not motivated, they don't care, they don't want to get better, it's going to be really hard to get through to them and get them to make a change in their life. So, okay, well, many rehabs say, well, that's on the person. He should just leave and then come back when he's ready to do it. And I understand that, because you have to spend your time working with the people who want it. But there is sometimes you have to sort of roll your sleeves up and try to convince a person who doesn't really want convincing at the time what is going on, because you're trying to save their life. If they walk out that door, they're probably going to OD. So how motivated are you to help foster motivation in that individual? Number 2, which falls into that, is the staff's compassion and their determination to help the individual get better. If they are determined to help that person get better despite themselves, that will lead to more success. I can't tell you how many times I've heard at a graduation, I was out of here. I was packing my stuff. I was walking down the road, and then I talked to, ex staff member, and they told me their story. And then Y staff member came in and told me their story. And they weren't berating me. They were just sitting down and they were telling me, hey, you're at what, week 2? I was right where you were. I wanted to leave too. Here's what happened. I didn't. And here's how my life is now. And they had a real, genuine, honest conversation with that person. And they ended up staying and doing the program. I hear it all the time. So the more that the staff are determined, the better it is. And we realize that there will be people that will walk out that door no matter what we say or do. There's just nothing we can do about it, but we're going to know at that point we've tried everything we can. Number 3, the teaching of fundamental knowledge that the individual understands and can apply in life and wants to, because it works for them. Not useless information or preaching. Real, practical knowledge about themselves and skills that help them in life. Okay, that's a mouthful, but I think it's very important. If you're teaching somebody something that they don't want to know, then how effective is that going to be? That's like if you go to take Spanish class because you're going to Costa Rica and you want to know how to get around. You want to know how to catch a taxi. You want to know how to eat in a restaurant, you want to know how to ask where the bathroom is and whatever. And you go to class and they're teaching you how to make a piñata. And okay, maybe you're learning a little bit about culture and maybe it's somewhat interesting, but you're ready. You need to know this is not what you came here for. You came here for very specific information for a very specific purpose. That's what you want. And so when you're teaching people something that makes sense to them, like, so we teach all these tools at Elevate, and we realize that not everybody is going to remember every single tool that we teach, but we know that they are going to resonate with specific things. And we teach them all these different tools because you never know which one is going to be the one that's going to impinge on them and is going to resonate with them. So we make sure that when we're teaching somebody, this is not preaching. This is, here's all these different tools that you can apply or not, because we are not your babysitter. When you leave this program, it's up to you to do that. We're just trying to give you as many tools in the toolbox as you can possibly have, and you will choose what to do with them. Number 4 is pretty obvious. A safe, nurturing environment that is conducive to healing. So that's pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised how many rehabs are not safe from the perspective of drugs or violence. Sometimes that stuff happens. A nurturing environment. So there may be places that are very strict and done in a way that's over the top, where the people don't feel like people. They feel like they're just a number. And conducive to healing. And this is just sort of one of those things that you feel like, for example, at the Elevate Santa Cruz facility, we're on 30 acres. There's a nice view that overlooks Monterey Bay. And it's just, you kind of stand up there and you get this big feeling looking out at the vineyards and things like that, and the houses and the farms. And it just feels good. It feels like it's a place of healing. So that's one of those judgment calls. And then the fifth one is not letting them be a victim to their addiction or condition during treatment. And I'm going to spend all of part 2 on that one, on number 5, because I believe it's that important. So we've talked about that. Okay, 5 things, formula to a person succeeding in rehab. Wow, it doesn't seem that hard, and it may not be that hard when you look at it in writing, but it is difficult to apply at a high standard that works consistently. And then I'll go into the things that success is not based on. And I've been to, again, there's been people who tell me they've been to places like this and they did not succeed. And I'll just rattle through them real quick. What success is not based on? How big and beautiful your rehab mansion is and how close it is to the beach. What culinary school the chef at that rehab went to. How many fancy credentials the doctor or psychiatrist has next to their name. The kind of car the rehab owner drives. Maid service to clean up after the people in rehab. How many celebrities the rehab has treated. How much it costs. More expensive does not mean better treatment. So those things don't matter with success. They really don't. Of course, you need a clean place. You need a place that's sanitary and things like that. But you don't need all these things. And the funny thing is when you look online, which is where most people go if they're going to research a treatment facility, is that's what you hear. That's what you see. Here's the picture of our facility and how beautiful it is. And here's our chef and here's his meals and all these things. And yeah, you want people to eat well. Of course you do. But how many credentials the doctor or psychiatrist has next to their name. Okay, great. So this guy's an accomplished person. Great. Does he sit down with the client and relate to them on an individual basis in a way that matters to them? Most don't. So anyway, when you'll see this, it's marketing. Like, well, what a lot of people are doing with rehabs is they're marketing it like it's a hotel or a resort. And so they're featuring amenities that are something that you would look for if you were going for a resort. Oh, how big is their pool? What kind of meals do they eat? Things like that. What kind of excursions can I do there? What kind of extracurricular activities do they have? And I guess every place sells that. And truthfully, so does Elevate. And I'm actually probably going to go look at the website because I think we should be more on our formula and less on our amenities. But it's just common. So I just want you to understand that is something when you're shopping around for rehabs that you're going to be looking at. However, those things don't matter when it comes to if someone succeeds or not. So it's okay to say, well, I want my child to go to this place because I think it's up to our standards in terms of what I want him to be living in. That's fine. That's your choice. But realize that they should have the other elements of a program as well, and not just things that they say to sell you that actually help you understand that this is what's going to help your kid, not the fact that you have whatever 3,000 thread count Egyptian cotton sheets on the bed, and that there's real brass in the fixtures or whatever. I don't know. So I would just be mindful that there's amenities and then there's what really works.